Olive oil is celebrated for its numerous health benefits, but did you know that combining it with certain foods can pose serious health risks? In this video, we'll reveal 10 dangerous pairings of olive oil with common foods that could lead to severe health issues. These hazardous combinations can contribute to conditions like cancer, heart attacks, hypertension, diabetes, and even kidney failure. We'll cover both familiar and unexpected pairings, providing you with crucial insights to protect your health. Make sure to watch until the end to uncover these critical mistakes and learn how to avoid them. If you're eager to master your health and stay safe from these hidden dangers, click like and let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Combining olive oil and spicy foods. Risks and recommendations. Combining olive oil with spicy foods like chili and hot sauces can pose significant health risks, particularly for individuals with gastrointestinal issues. Spicy foods contain capsaicin, a compound that triggers nerve endings and stimulates increased stomach acid production. When combined with olive oil, a fatty substance, this combination can place excessive strain on the digestive system, especially when consumed in large amounts and frequently. The fats in olive oil, when mixed with capsaicin from spicy foods, can irritate the mucous membranes of the stomach and intestines. This irritation can exacerbate existing conditions such as gastritis, peptic ulcers, and gastroesophageal reflux disease, GERD. According to research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, fatty foods like olive oil can intensify the inflammation caused by capsaicin, increasing the risk of developing ulcers and mucosal damage. Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health findings indicate that regular consumption of spicy foods with fats can lead to gastritis in about 30% of cases and ulcers in approximately 20% of individuals. The problem arises because olive oil not only contributes to increased gastric acid secretion but also combines with capsaicin to further irritate the stomach lining. This irritation can lead to significant digestive discomfort and long-term health issues. Take, for example, Juan Gutierrez from Mexico City, who loved spicy foods and often drizzled olive oil on his dishes. Despite believing that olive oil would mitigate the spiciness, he developed gastritis and subsequently a peptic ulcer. His doctors attributed his condition to the regular combination of spicy foods and olive oil, which aggravated the gastric mucosa. To avoid these issues, it is wise to limit the consumption of spicy foods and avoid adding olive oil to dishes already rich in capsaicin. For those who enjoy spicy cuisine, moderation is key, and pairing these foods with lighter, low-fat options like vegetables or lean proteins can help reduce gastrointestinal stress. Additionally, choosing oils with a more neutral impact, such as avocado oil, may be gentler on the stomach, especially when not heated. Mistake number 9. Combining olive oil with canned or heavily salted foods. Combining olive oil with canned or heavily salted foods, such as pickles, sauerkraut, or fish in oil, can present significant health risks, particularly for those who regularly consume these types of foods. These salty items are packed with sodium, which can adversely affect cardiovascular and kidney health when consumed excessively. The high sodium content in these foods contributes to water retention in the body, putting extra pressure on the heart and blood vessels. When olive oil, a fatty product despite its health benefits, is added to these already salty foods, the risk of adverse health effects is exacerbated. The combination results in a substantial increase in both fat and sodium levels, which can disrupt the body's water and salt balance. This imbalance heightens the risk of developing hypertension, kidney failure, and heart disease. Salt-induced water retention strains the cardiovascular system, while added fats from olive oil further compound this strain. Research from the American Heart Association, AHA, highlights that excessive intake of both salt and fats simultaneously can elevate the risk of hypertension by up to 30%, particularly in individuals over 50 years old. Furthermore, the combination of fat and salt can contribute to obesity, an additional risk factor for cardiovascular diseases. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, consuming high-sodium foods, such as pickled and canned vegetables, increases the risk of hypertension and cardiovascular diseases by 25%. Adding olive oil to these foods only intensifies this risk as fats amplify the effects of sodium on the body. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health underscores that the mixture of fats with sodium-rich foods can accelerate fat deposition in the arteries, increasing the likelihood of heart attacks and strokes. Similarly, research from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, shows that an excessive intake of sodium combined with fats can strain the kidneys, as they work harder to eliminate these excess substances from the body. Consider Mark Fisher from Frankfurt, Germany, who enjoyed pickles and fish in oil, often drizzling them with olive oil. He believed that olive oil made his diet healthier, but this combination led to his diagnosis of hypertension and kidney failure after several years. Doctors explained that the high sodium levels combined with olive oil's fats led to sodium buildup and impaired kidney function. To avoid such health issues, it's crucial to manage salt and fat intake carefully. Canned and pickled foods are inherently high in sodium, so consuming them in moderation and avoiding additional fats like olive oil is advisable. Opting for fresh vegetables over pickled ones can help reduce sodium intake. If you do consume salty foods, limit the use of olive oil and use it sparingly to minimize strain on your cardiovascular system and kidneys. The American Heart Association recommends keeping daily salt intake below 1,500 milligrams and minimizing the combination of fat and salt to support heart and vascular health. Mistake 8. Combining olive oil with highly processed carbohydrates. Combining olive oil with highly processed carbohydrates, such as white bread, pasta, and pastries, can be a subtle yet significant threat to your health, particularly if this combination is a regular part of your diet. Highly processed carbohydrates are rapidly broken down by the body, leading to quick spikes in blood sugar levels. When these foods are paired with olive oil, which is high in fat, it can lead to adverse metabolic effects, including weight gain, metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. The problem arises because highly processed carbohydrates lack fiber and essential nutrients. Their consumption causes dramatic fluctuations in blood insulin levels, which places a heavy burden on the pancreas. Over time, this can result in insulin resistance. Adding olive oil, which is a source of fat, exacerbates the situation by further raising glucose levels. The body responds by storing more fat, contributing to weight gain and obesity. The American Diabetes Association, ADA, warns that combining fats with processed carbohydrates can significantly increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health indicates that regularly consuming highly processed carbohydrates in combination with fats increases the risk of cardiovascular disease by 25%, particularly among those who lead sedentary lifestyles. These foods also promote chronic inflammation, which can lead to the development of metabolic syndrome, a condition that heightens the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and stroke. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, confirms that a diet high in glycemic index carbohydrates, such as white bread and pastries, combined with fatty foods like olive oil, can increase the risk of obesity by 30% and contribute to chronic inflammatory diseases. Take the case of Lisa Williams, a 34-year-old from London, UK, who believed that adding olive oil to her pasta and bread made her diet healthier. She regularly consumed these highly processed carbohydrates, generously flavored with olive oil, believing this was a way to maintain her health due to olive oil's antioxidant properties. However, this habit led to her developing type 2 diabetes and obesity over time. Doctors explained that her regular consumption of highly processed carbohydrates combined with fats resulted in metabolic disorders and insulin resistance. To avoid these health risks, it's crucial to limit the intake of highly processed carbohydrates like white bread, pasta, and pastries. These foods have a high glycemic index, causing rapid blood sugar spikes. Instead, opt for healthier alternatives such as whole grain bread, brown rice, and whole wheat pasta. These options contain more fiber, which helps slow carbohydrate digestion and prevents blood sugar spikes. When using olive oil, try to pair it with fiber-rich and protein-rich foods to balance nutrients and mitigate the risk of metabolic disorders. Additionally, be mindful of portion sizes, as even healthy foods can have negative effects when consumed excessively. Mistake 7. Combining olive oil with foods high in sugar. Combining olive oil with sugar-laden foods such as sweet dishes, baked goods, and carbonated drinks can pose a serious threat to your health. This combination can lead to a cascade of health issues, including type 2 diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and even myocardial infarction. Although olive oil is widely regarded as a healthy fat, its effects can be undermined when paired with high-sugar foods. When you consume sugary foods, your body experiences a rapid increase in blood glucose levels. This spike prompts the pancreas to produce more insulin to manage the surge in blood sugar. However, when these sugary foods are combined with fats like olive oil, the process becomes even more problematic. The fat content can slow down the metabolism of sugar, leading to the formation of fat deposits in the liver and other organs. This, in turn, increases the risk of developing metabolic and cardiovascular diseases. According to the American Diabetes Association, consuming sugary foods along with fats significantly raises the likelihood of insulin resistance, which can lead to type 2 diabetes. A study conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention highlights that individuals who regularly consume baked goods and sugary drinks in combination with fats are 50% more likely to suffer from obesity and related complications, including hypertension and heart disease. Additionally, the National Institute on Aging emphasizes that excessive consumption of sugars and fats accelerates cellular aging and increases oxidative stress. This oxidative stress can speed up the development of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. Consider the case of Sarah Thompson, a 35-year-old from Boston, USA, who has always had a sweet tooth. Her favorite treats included pies generously drizzled with olive oil, which she believed made them healthier. She would often enjoy these sweets along with sugary carbonated drinks. Over time, Sarah gained weight and her health began to decline. She was eventually diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. Doctors attributed her condition to her habit of combining large amounts of sugar with fat, like olive oil, which exacerbated her health issues. To avoid such detrimental health outcomes, it is crucial to minimize the intake of sugar-rich foods and avoid adding olive oil to these dishes. Instead, use olive oil in healthier preparations, such as salads, stewed vegetables, or marinades, where its benefits can be fully realized. Reducing sugary foods and beverages and opting for healthier carbohydrate sources, like fruits and whole grains, can help balance your diet. Combining fats with fiber and protein-rich foods can also help manage blood sugar levels and reduce strain on the pancreas. Mistake number 6. Mistake 6. Combining olive oil with high-fat dairy products. Combining olive oil with high-fat dairy products like cream, cheese, and butter can be a significant health mistake that puts undue strain on your cardiovascular system. High-fat dairy products are rich in saturated fats, which can elevate levels of bad cholesterol, low-density lipoprotein, or LDL, in the blood. When olive oil, which contains monounsaturated fats, is added to these dairy products, the total fat content in your diet increases dramatically, exacerbating health risks. The combination of saturated fats from dairy and monounsaturated fats from olive oil can lead to the buildup of fatty deposits in the arteries, contributing to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. These plaques narrow the arteries, restricting blood flow to vital organs such as the heart and brain, and significantly heightening the risk of heart attack and stroke. According to the American Heart Association, AHA, such combinations can raise cholesterol levels substantially, increasing the risk of heart disease by 30%. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health indicates that consuming saturated fats from dairy products along with vegetable oils like olive oil can exacerbate inflammation and lead to a buildup of LDL cholesterol in the blood. This study highlights that people who frequently combine olive oil with saturated fats are at a 25% increased risk of developing cardiovascular disease. Similarly, data from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, supports the notion that excessive intake of saturated fats combined with vegetable oils accelerates the deposition of fat in artery walls, thereby increasing the likelihood of heart attacks and strokes. Consider the case of Carlos Rodriguez, a 55-year-old from Barcelona, Spain, who regularly consumed cheese and butter with olive oil, believing it to be a healthier choice. This combination, which he added to his meals daily, ultimately contributed to his development of atherosclerosis and a subsequent heart attack. His doctors identified his dietary habits as a contributing factor to his health issues, underlining the dangers of combining these high-fat ingredients. To mitigate these risks, it is advisable to moderate your intake of high-fat dairy products and avoid combining them with additional fats like olive oil. Opt for low-fat or skim dairy products to reduce saturated fat intake and support cardiovascular health. If you wish to incorporate olive oil into your diet, use it in combination with vegetables or fiber-rich dishes, which can help balance the overall fat content and lower cholesterol levels. Replacing some dairy products with plant-based alternatives, such as almond milk or low-fat cheese, can also reduce saturated fat intake and pair more effectively with olive oil. Maintaining a balanced diet with healthy fats in moderation and avoiding excessive fats in one meal are crucial steps in promoting heart health. Mistake number 5. Combining olive oil with alcohol. Combining olive oil with alcohol may seem unusual, but it can pose significant health risks, particularly when it's a frequent part of your diet. While olive oil is often praised for its heart-healthy benefits, pairing it with alcohol can place an excessive burden on the liver and pancreas, leading to serious health issues. Both olive oil and alcohol require substantial processing by the liver. Alcohol is inherently toxic to the liver, and excessive consumption can lead to conditions such as fatty liver disease. When combined with the fats from olive oil, the liver's workload intensifies, which can exacerbate liver damage and potentially lead to more severe conditions like cirrhosis. The liver must handle the breakdown of both fats and alcohol simultaneously, which can lead to its exhaustion and cellular damage. This dual burden not only slows metabolism but also contributes to fat deposition in liver tissues, accelerating the onset of fatty liver disease, a precursor to cirrhosis and liver failure. Research from the National Institute on Aging, NIA, highlights that regularly consuming fats and alcohol together increases the risk of developing fatty liver disease by 30%, particularly among individuals over the age of 50. Furthermore, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, notes that combining alcohol with fatty foods enhances the risk of pancreatitis and cirrhosis by 40%. The American Heart Association, AHA, also points out that this combination can disrupt lipid metabolism and elevate levels of bad cholesterol in the blood, significantly increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease. Consider the case of Raul Fernandez, a 47-year-old from Madrid, Spain, who enjoyed pairing his Mediterranean meals with generous amounts of olive oil and glasses of red wine. Although he initially felt fine, he began experiencing symptoms like fatigue, a heavy feeling on his right side, and digestive issues. Eventually, he was diagnosed with fatty liver disease, which progressed to cirrhosis. His doctors attributed his liver problems to the regular combination of alcohol and fatty foods such as olive oil. To avoid this health risk, it's crucial to manage alcohol intake and refrain from combining it with high-fat foods. If you choose to consume alcohol, keep it in moderation and avoid pairing it with fatty meals. Limiting alcohol consumption or abstaining altogether is the best approach to minimize the strain on your liver. When using olive oil, opt for it in dishes like salads where it doesn't interact with alcohol. Additionally, consider replacing alcoholic beverages with healthier alternatives such as mineral water with lemon or natural juices, which are less taxing on the liver and do not contribute to its overload. Mistake 4. Combining olive oil with margarine or foods containing trans fats. Combining olive oil with margarine or foods rich in trans fats can be highly detrimental to your health. Margarine, mayonnaise, and certain spreads contain trans fats, artificially created fats known to significantly increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, including atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, and stroke. Although olive oil is celebrated for its heart-healthy monounsaturated fats, pairing it with trans fats undermines its benefits and exacerbates the harm caused by these unhealthy fats. Trans fats, prevalent in margarine and processed spreads, are notorious for their detrimental effects on cholesterol levels. They elevate bad cholesterol, low-density lipoproteins, while reducing good cholesterol, high-density lipoproteins. This imbalance contributes to the formation of atherosclerotic plaques, which narrow blood vessels and elevate the risk of heart disease. According to the American Heart Association, AHA, trans fats can increase the risk of heart attack and stroke by up to 50%. When consumed alongside other fats, even healthier ones like olive oil, the negative impact is amplified. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that regular consumption of trans fats raises the likelihood of cardiovascular disease by 25%. Combining these harmful fats with olive oil further intensifies the strain on the cardiovascular system. Research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health indicates that even small amounts of trans fats can increase the risk of death from heart disease by 20%. This is due to the way trans fats disrupt lipid metabolism, leading to harmful cholesterol buildup in the arteries. Similarly, studies by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, have demonstrated that the presence of trans fats accelerates atherosclerosis and contributes to premature vascular aging. Consider the case of James Robertson, a 45-year-old from Glasgow, UK, who regularly consumed margarine and mayonnaise sandwiches with olive oil, believing it would neutralize the harm from trans fats. Unfortunately, James's health deteriorated over time, leading to a diagnosis of atherosclerosis and ultimately a heart attack. His doctors attributed his condition to the harmful combination of olive oil with trans fats, which elevated his bad cholesterol levels and accelerated arterial clogging. To avoid this health mistake, it is crucial to be mindful of the types of fats you consume. Margarine, mayonnaise, and other spreads high in trans fats should be eliminated from your diet, especially when used with olive oil. Opt for healthier alternatives, such as natural butter in place of margarine, and homemade sauces made from natural ingredients instead of commercially processed mayonnaise. When incorporating olive oil into your diet, pair it with wholesome foods like vegetables or whole grains, rather than items that contain unhealthy fats. Always check labels for trans fat-free products and avoid those with partially hydrogenated oils, which are a significant source of trans fats in processed foods. Mistake 3. Combining olive oil with grilled red meat. Combining olive oil with grilled red meat can pose significant health risks, particularly when high temperatures are involved. Grilling red meat at high temperatures generates harmful compounds such as heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. These substances are strong carcinogens that penetrate the meat and can be exacerbated when olive oil is added, especially since olive oil starts to decompose at temperatures above 190 degrees Celsius, 374 degrees Fahrenheit. As olive oil heats, it breaks down and forms toxic substances like acrolein, a carcinogen linked to stomach, colon, and pancreatic cancers. When combined with grilled red meat, the risk of accumulating these toxins increases. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, have found that regular consumption of grilled red meat raises the risk of colon cancer by 30%. Adding fat, such as olive oil, to the grilling process accelerates the production of these dangerous compounds. The American Institute for Cancer Research, AICR, highlights that HCAs and PAHs, which are produced during grilling, can increase the risk of stomach and pancreatic cancer by up to 40%. Further research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health reveals that grilling red meat with olive oil also heightens the risk of cardiovascular disease. The heat transforms fats in both the meat and the oil into trans fats, which contribute to elevated levels of bad cholesterol and increased risks of heart attacks and strokes. Consider the case of Jonathan Miller, a 54-year-old from Sydney, Australia, who loved grilling steaks with olive oil. Believing this practice enhanced flavor and health benefits, Jonathan was unaware of the potential dangers. Several years later, he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Doctors linked his cancer to the toxic carcinogens formed from grilling meat with olive oil. To avoid these health risks, it's crucial to modify your grilling practices. First, avoid grilling meat at excessively high temperatures. Opt for medium-high heat or alternative cooking methods like baking or braising. If grilling remains your preference, choose oils with higher smoke points, such as avocado or coconut oil, which are more stable at high temperatures. Additionally, marinate your meat with citrus juices or vinegar, which can help reduce carcinogen formation. Avoid adding oil directly to the meat during cooking to prevent overheating and the release of toxic substances. In summary, while olive oil is a healthy choice for salads and marinades, it's best not to use it for grilling. By making these adjustments, you can reduce your risk of cancer and cardiovascular diseases linked to high-temperature grilling. Mistake 2. Combining olive oil with processed meat products. Combining olive oil with processed meat products like sausages, canned foods, and fast food poses a serious health risk, potentially leading to severe conditions such as stomach cancer, colon cancer, atherosclerosis, myocardial infarction, stroke, and metabolic syndrome. This danger becomes more pronounced when such combinations are part of a regular diet. Processed meats are already known for their health risks due to high levels of saturated fat, salt, preservatives, and nitrites. However, when these meats are cooked with olive oil, especially at high temperatures, the harmful effects are significantly amplified. Processed meats release carcinogenic substances like heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs, when subjected to heat. Frying these meats in olive oil further exacerbates the problem. As olive oil heats, it begins to decompose and release toxic compounds, including acrolein and trans fats. This combination not only promotes inflammation in the body but also significantly increases the risk of developing cancers such as stomach, pancreatic, and colon cancer. The National Institutes of Health, NIH, found that regular consumption of processed meats raises the risk of cardiovascular disease by 30% and stomach cancer by 40%. The American Institute for Cancer Research confirms that combining saturated fats with carcinogens from heat processing can greatly enhance cancer risk. Additionally, research from the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health indicates that consuming processed meats with fried fats boosts the likelihood of heart attacks by 25% and raises levels of bad cholesterol. The American Heart Association further supports these findings, noting that processed meats combined with fats accelerate the formation of atherosclerotic plaques, heightening the risk of strokes and heart attacks. For instance, Mark Davis, a 42-year-old from Chicago, frequently enjoyed hot dogs and fried sausages with olive oil, mistakenly believing it to be a healthier option. Years later, Mark was diagnosed with bowel cancer. His doctors attributed the disease partly to the toxins accumulated from the combination of processed meats and olive oil, especially when fried. To avoid this health hazard, it is crucial to minimize or completely eliminate processed meat products from your diet. These foods are not only high in saturated fat and salt but also release harmful carcinogens when heated, particularly when combined with oils like olive oil. When using olive oil for cooking, it is best suited for dishes prepared at low to medium temperatures. Olive oil's health benefits are best utilized in salads, marinades, or when cooking over low heat. For high-temperature cooking, opt for oils with higher smoke points, such as avocado or coconut oil, to prevent the breakdown of beneficial components. Additionally, consider alternative cooking methods like baking or steaming. These methods can significantly reduce the formation of carcinogens and preserve the nutritional value of foods. By making these adjustments, you can protect your health and avoid the dangers associated with combining olive oil and processed meats. Mistake 1. Combining olive oil with high-heat frying of processed meats, fish, potatoes, eggs, and cruciferous vegetables. Using olive oil for high-heat frying of processed meats, fish, potatoes, eggs, and cruciferous vegetables can be a severe health hazard, significantly increasing your risk of developing serious conditions like stomach, colon, liver, and pancreatic cancers. The key issue lies in the fact that first cold-pressed olive oil has a relatively low smoke point of 190 degrees Celsius, 374 degrees Fahrenheit. When exposed to temperatures above this threshold, the oil starts to decompose, releasing harmful substances such as acrolein, a potent carcinogen. Frying foods rich in protein and carbohydrates, such as processed meats, like sausages and bacon, fish, potatoes, and cruciferous vegetables, such as cabbage and broccoli, at these high temperatures can exacerbate the formation of carcinogenic compounds in the food, posing a substantial risk to your health. For instance, when protein-rich and carbohydrate-rich foods like potatoes or fish are subjected to high heat, they produce hazardous compounds like heterocyclic amines, HCAs, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, PAHs. These substances have long been associated with an increased risk of cancer. Research conducted by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, indicates that consistently consuming foods fried at high temperatures can elevate the risk of stomach, colon, and pancreatic cancers by up to 40%. The American Institute for Cancer Research corroborates this, highlighting that HCAs formed during high-temperature cooking are significant contributors to cancer risk. Further supporting this, a study by the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that frequently frying potatoes in olive oil can raise the risk of colon cancer by 25%, particularly in individuals with pre-existing inflammatory bowel disease. An illustrative case is that of 48-year-old Michael Wilson from London, who regularly fried bacon, potatoes, and eggs with olive oil, believing it was a healthier choice. Unfortunately, he was later diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, a condition doctors attributed, at least in part, to his high-temperature cooking practices with olive oil. To avoid this critical health mistake, it is essential to understand that virgin cold-pressed olive oil is best suited for low-temperature applications. This oil retains its best qualities when used in salad dressings, marinades, or in cooking over low heat. For frying at higher temperatures, opt for oils with a higher smoke point, such as avocado oil or grapeseed oil, which are less likely to break down and release toxic substances. Additionally, try to avoid frying foods that are especially prone to producing carcinogens when heated, such as processed meats and starchy vegetables like potatoes. Instead, consider cooking methods like baking or steaming, which significantly reduce the risk of carcinogen formation. If you must fry with olive oil, ensure the temperature remains between 160,180 degrees Celsius, 320,356 degrees Fahrenheit, to preserve its beneficial properties and minimize the production of harmful toxins. Olive oil is widely recognized for its health benefits, but its potential can be compromised when paired with certain foods. It's crucial to understand that even this nutritious oil can become a risk factor if used improperly. Avoid combining olive oil with highly processed carbohydrates, trans fats, alcohol, canned foods, and other harmful ingredients. The key is not only selecting high-quality olive oil but also pairing it wisely with complementary foods. Your daily choices significantly impact your health, so be mindful of how you use olive oil in your diet. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with these insights? Feel free to share your questions in the comments. For more detailed information, check the links in the video description and explore our channel.